as a springtime rain, to have a friend right in your corner. Your heart will feel a little warmer. Tender loving care, tender loving care. Each warm and friendly touch lets someone know you care so much. Tender loving care, tender loving care.
Welcome to Tender Loving Care, friend. Good to have you here. We have with us this evening, I'm Kingsley Whitsitt, by the way. I was here last week. Dr. Greenbrier Almond had to be out of town today and asked us if we could go ahead and have the program this time. So we'd like to introduce who's here from Brushy Fork Christian School, and we'll start over here with Charlene.
I am Charlene Carver, classroom assistant at the school.
I'm Rick Cutright. I'm the pastor at the Seventh-day Adventist Church where the school is located, and also help some with the school.
Okay.
And I'm Pat Redpath, and I'm the home and school leader, and I sometimes get to help with the children also.
I'm Bonnie Cutright, and I am the teacher at Brushy Fork Christian School.
Okay, so that's who we have with us today. And we may repeat some things that we had last week because not everyone may have heard our program last week. And so why don't we explain, first of all, Pastor, who you serve as the pastor there, as well as on the school board. Tell us something about the school, where it's located, and so forth.
Okay, the school is located on the Brushy Fork Road. It's 1122 Brushy Fork Road in the educational wing of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, just past the airport road.
So did the school just begin a year or two ago, or how long has it been around here?
Actually, in the facility there where we are now, it's been there since about 1997. We also had the school back in the 80s and the early 90s in another church. It's a Baptist church now, right across. It's on Kanawha Street, right across from the parts store there.
Oh, Calvary Baptist, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why does your church operate a school? I mean, is it, it's a good moneymaker and helps the church with its expenses or something?
Well, actually, the school costs the church money.
Oh, okay.
If not for the dedicated members of our church who pledged so much a month, our church members pledge each month to support the school, we couldn't have a school because tuition would not pay the bill for sure. So we're thankful to have dedicated members there who believe in education.
Well, here in Upshur County, we have some good schools, public schools, that are operated here, good teachers, dedicated teachers. So why does the church feel it's necessary to operate a Christian school, which I assume is for all different people from different faiths, right?
Right.
So why does the church, operate the school when it costs them to do so also?
Well, we have good school systems here, some good schools in Upshur County. We have very dedicated personnel. I actually worked for the Upshur County school system 16 years myself, and my wife subbed there some for them. And so we have really good schools and good teachers, but they are limited as far as how much they can share their faith with the students. Sometimes prayer is needed, and they're limited on how much they can pray with the students because of the laws in the country. And so we offer an alternative to that. In our school, we can pray just as much as we want. Anytime we have things that need prayer, our teacher or myself, we're glad to do that. And we can also teach the Bible, which you can't do in public school either. So some parents just want that for their children, and so they choose an alternative to the public school system.
Okay, yeah. I can see that there would be advantages to be able to have prayer with your students, and to have it based on God's Word. I guess, and I think last week it was brought out that that the school is not trying to indoctrinate everybody, but to have basic Bible truths, basic Bible stories that build character in young people, and that's important, you know.
Right.
It really is.
And our teacher will talk more about that a little later, I think,
Okay.
about the Bible class, the actual class and worship that she has. But one other thing I should mention too, probably, we try to have what we call a week of prayer in the spring and in the fall. And sometimes we do it ourselves. Sometimes we'll have a pastor from another church maybe come. And he'll just spend a week there with the kids, come in each day, and he'll have a program. This past year we had our youth director for the conference, Jeff Starr, came, and the kids just really had a lot of fun. He did a lot of experiments with them, and he shared spiritual things with them, and it was just a really spiritual time for the young people, for the students.
Good. Pat Redpath, you serve, as you said, home and school leader. What is home and school? What is that organization all about?
It's comparable to Parent-Teacher Association, the PTA.
Okay.
We try to coordinate things between the school and the parents so that it's all geared at helping the students to do well in school and be socially as well as literally educated.
Okay. Well, you know, school is about to begin, not only at Brushy Fork Christian School, but at all of our public schools here. How can parents help their young people so that they'll be successful in school? Are there things that parents can actually do that will strengthen the success of the education program?
Yes, a lot of things. One of the things is that they can have family time together. They can ask the children questions about how they're doing in school and what they did today, and they can have family meals together and try to eat nutritional food, not in front of a TV or in front of a video game, but just they need to get proper rest. They can make sure the children get to bed on time and get up on time to be in school on time, and they can play together as well. They can have time to be with their children in other ways. And I always think it's important that they have their spiritual time together. And there's a lot of other ways that they can help, like packing healthy lunches and just so nutrition, rest, and togetherness is about something.
Okay. You know, there have been studies done that if parents, wherever they send their children to school, if parents will just take time to ask about what did you do in school today, what did you learn today in school, that the kids will actually do better than if the parent doesn't take any interest in what they're doing in school.
Absolutely.
So, you know, just talking to the young person about what they've been learning and showing an interest in that helps the young people do better. So that's encouraging. Charlene, you've helped out in the classroom there before. Is it just everything's computer driven, like some private schools do that? They just, you know, assist the young people as they watch everything on the computer? Is that how the kids learn, or is it a correspondence school type of thing where you just assist them with assignments and then send them off somewhere? Or is it actually teacher-led where there's teaching being done there?
We have a regular program, and they teach all classes that other schools have,
Oh, okay.
as well as a Bible class, and they all participate, and they are eager really to learn. Children are, so they have. It's mostly with the books.
Okay. So just like you would have at public school too, as far as the teaching method, using
Yes.
textbooks and workbooks and the teachers teaching the concepts and so forth. Well, let's turn to our teacher, Bonnie Cutright, who leads out in the educational program there. Tell us something about your educational background. I mean, where did you go to school? How did you get into this?
Okay.
You know, something about your background.
I attended Glenville State College, and I also attended West Virginia Wesleyan College.
Okay.
I graduated in 1996
So which school then?
from West Virginia Wesleyan,
Oh, okay.
and-
right here in town.
my hometown.
All right. Okay.
Um,
So you actually went to school here and growing up and all the
Yes,
rest too.
mhm.
All right.
and the teachers inspired me as a little girl too to be a teacher. I
Well, that's
recall
great.
from my early childhood, at the age of 10, I wanted to be a teacher.
Is
And
that
so
right?
I set a goal for myself, and
Wow.
at times I didn't think I'd make it, but with God's guidance and His plan for my life, I know that He has guided me to where I am today.
That's exciting, I tell you. You know, in your mission statement, and there's a school handbook, and you'll see a phone number there listed at the bottom of the TV screen that gives the phone number. And if you'll call the school there, they can set up an appointment and you can come out and look over the school, and you'll receive one of the handbooks, and it'll tell you all about the school and give you some of the details that you may need. But in the mission statement, it actually says that you endeavor to motivate and inspire excellence in the student's mental, physical, social, and character development. So what do you do, you know, in everyday teaching there? What do you try to do to motivate and inspire kids to learn? Because not all kids really want to learn, you know. They want to play and go to recess.
Oh, yes. They definitely love that.
Right.
I provide a lot of hands-on activities for the students
Oh.
that correlate with our subject area. We go out into the field. When we're studying science, we can, say for instance, plot a piece of land and study how many insects are in that area. We can also take hikes over through the fields and
Okay.
study the different types of flowers. Each child, of course, they come. There are different levels in their learning, and I provide individualized instruction for them.
Individualized. You mean some of the students are at different stages? Or
Yes.
Some subject areas
Some
probably.
subjects.
Like
Yeah.
kindergarten to 8th grade, and
Okay.
there's no racial discrimination or anything like that. Other denominations than ours, and we don't keep anyone away.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So, that's been a concern with some people. If you have 25 students that you're trying to handle, it's really difficult to give the individual child the help they need because, growing up myself, there were certain areas, math was a harder area for me. I needed extra help in math.
Right.
Some people maybe in reading. So can you actually find time in a smaller classroom to
Oh,
do,
yeah.
at least easier to do that than if you had 25 kids or something?
Yes, we use manipulatives. We have some computer time where we use it for research in other areas like social studies. That's
Yeah, right.
basically.
And field trips and so forth. We're going to show some pictures in just a little bit of some of the activities of the school and what she's talking about in regards to hands-on learning. And that is an area that's exciting to me because it really does help to motivate the kids to learn when they can see the relevancy of what they're studying. It's not just in the book and you got to memorize what's in the book, but how does this relate to life? So that's exciting. And so we're going to show some pictures that you folks have taken that will help to show that in just a little bit.
Might want to mention the educational fair too.
Yes,
Okay.
we do have an educational fair that meets in the spring, and each of the students submit a project that includes the area of art, science, social studies, and what was another one? I forget. There were 4 areas, but anyway. And the children do an excellent job with their projects. They have to do research, and they have to present a written report on what they've done. So all the subject areas are covered there.
Okay. You know, one concern that some parents may have, you know, we know the public school system has, you know, a regular program that's accredited and so forth. By the way, does this school have some type of accreditation too?
Yes, we
Oh.
do. We have.
I mean, there's standardized testing that.
Oh, yes, we do.
Okay. Okay.
ITBS testing in the fall.
So, do we find that students who go to Brushy Fork Christian School and that whole school system, do they do poorly scholastically, or is it an advantage or disadvantage, or what?
No, they, you know, of course, some come to me a little weaker in the areas, in some subject areas, and so I try to
Bring them up to
individualize
speed, yeah.
instruction and bring them up to where they need to be. The children have done well on their tests, but like any other school, they are weak in some areas too. But,
Yeah.
I want to mention that we, you know, when we have these educational fairs, there are children from all the schools around West Virginia in our schools.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if we mentioned that we have schools in other parts of West Virginia or not, besides just Buckhannon.
So what do? They bring something there, or they just watch, or what?
they bring projects in and they set them up.
That they themselves have
They have done.
okay, okay.
And we also have a presidential fitness program too that we have during that day, that we go to the education fair, and
Okay.
the children compete, so to speak, in their activities there.
But I understand everybody can get a, quote, blue ribbon
Yes.
because they're competing against themselves, if you please, you know, rather than each other. So they can all get a blue ribbon if they just endeavor and excel in that particular area. So that's good. And I can see that if they're having a project and they're going to have to display this before students from all over the state, that helps to motivate them to learn, you know. Well, we want to get into some of the pictures that I talked about, and then we'll talk some over the pictures as you're watching these pictures. And these are the students involved, at least some of the students in different projects, different outings and so forth. And so we'll just switch to the pictures anytime now. And okay, we'll talk as these pictures are being shown. This is hands-on learning, Bonnie, that you were talking about at Brushy Fork Christian School. The kids are outside, aren't they?
Yes, they're enjoying the fall season, and they love to play in the leaves. What child doesn't, right?
That's right.
And this is during a break that we've had. This is our field trip to the Beckley Exhibition Coal Mine.
You go way down there even, huh?
Yes, we have been there. My husband worked in the mine for 20 years. He can tell you a little more about that. But
Oh,
this
there's
is
Green Bank.
Green Bank, yes.
Yeah.
Observatory.
So they can learn about the stars and all that. So
Absolutely.
you've been there as well.
Mhm. And this is, of course, the Clay Center in Charleston.
Oh,
And,
for arts and science.
We've gone there a couple of times to the West Virginia Symphony that was.
Oh, I think we've got some pictures coming up. This is of the science center there.
Yes.
So we can see, I think there's another picture on the Science Center too. Yeah, they're the kids involved. Now see, this is what you call hands-on learning. And kids learn, and they like to learn that way, rather than just studying out of a book.
Right.
Ah, now here's the
Western,
symphony.
yes.
Yeah. This was a special children's program, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That they had. So they had students, I think your group was way up in the balcony, but there were lots of people there. There's the symphony gathered together, and it's especially designed for children. I think we have a couple pictures. Yeah, there's a closer picture.
Before going to the symphony, the children had to learn about the orchestra
Oh,
and the different
okay.
instruments that are involved in the orchestra.
So you teach some in music too. Well, this is the International Food Fair. Now you had this locally here, didn't you?
Yes, we did, and it was a delight. The children chose a country or a character in history, and they represented that person. Of course, they had to report on that person, do the research, the background information, and they just loved this. The hardest part was to stand still, you know.
Hey, folks, don't you like the way that this motivates kids to learn? you know, it's not just a dry textbook, but they're involved here. Now that they have to, you know, try to be real still and act like they're a wax figure in a wax museum. And so people would come by, as you can see there, and look and read their report about that particular person they're depicting. You see his report right there? So it's a certain soldier that he depicted. So these are the kids. Now there's a proud mother taking a picture of her
yes.
son. That's good. I would too. Looks like a good soldier, doesn't he?
He's a good student. I know that.
Joan of
Wonderful
Arc.
students, yes.
Oh, okay. Isn't this unique? So this was a program you invited parents and people in the community to come and come there. And the kids showed what they had studied, see?
Right. And this happened in October that year. Instead of having a Halloween party, the children chose something from history.
So you noticed the
represent-
costumes, but there was a purpose to the costumes, not just
Right.
to scare, but, you know, to depict characters from history.
Exactly.
That's interesting. I think that's the most unique approach. There's one of the reports that he's reading on. So you can see the Halloween figure at the top there on the right. Oh, okay. Looks. Oh, okay. Looks like a soldier there. Now there's Pat Ridpath and,
Constantine.
and my wife Nancy Whitsitt too. You see, they have some furnishings from the period a little bit, decorations. So these are the costumes the kids wore. Now here's one of the pastors over there that's explaining about a pumpkin and lessons we can learn from pumpkin. Because remember, this is Halloween time. And there you are, Pastor Cutright, sharing a message with the people to tie in all of this and bring out a lesson, right? Oh, you had food too.
Absolutely.
Looks good, doesn't it?
It was healthful.
Decorative. Okay, there's part of the group that was there for this particular wax museum program that the school put on. And you see, it's hard to goof off and not study when you know you're going to be standing in front of people giving a report.
Not my
It
student.
motivates kids to learn. Now this is something else, the state education fair.
Yes, this is the education fair, and the past 2 years, my students won the award overall for social studies in each
Wow.
group. So
There's one.
For the whole
There's
state?
for the whole state. Mhm.
Wow,
For-
there's Hunter on
There's
the
one in a
right.
striped shirt, the yellow
Yeah.
shirt.
Oh,
What did she win?
She won first place.
First place. It's 2 different years, so this was first place at the education fair for the whole state. Now here's something on character development, where the kids are actually involved in an Easter program and sharing with others. Look at them there. Don't they look sharp?
And they sang so beautifully.
That's great.
All boys.
These are some of the guys. They look sharp.
And of course, Jordan.
Now they had speaking parts too, because I remember being there at the program, and so they're learning how to speak in front of people and have a little play like. You see them talking together and interacting.
And I encourage the students to learn memory verses. You know, if we can store
Excellent.
God's word in our hearts, it's a sword. It's the sword of the Spirit.
Hey, the kids got some flowers for their efforts.
And these arrangements were made to give to the parents.
Okay, now here's a Christmas program at Holbrooks on the Hill, right here in town.
Absolutely.
So kids are learning community service, aren't they, this
Yes.
way?
Mhm.
Is that a good character development? I think so.
And the residents there loved it, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
So there's one of the girls having a reading part, a story. Yeah, and there's Bonnie Cutright telling a story too. Yeah, one important part is when the kids interface with the residents there after the program is over. And you'll see one picture at least of that happening. There it is. Now, this is teaching service to others. That is a character trait we want our kids to learn in school. And that's one of the emphases of Brushy Fork Christian School. So there's our good teacher, Bonnie, that's so creative in putting a lot of these things together. And so we hope you enjoyed some of the pictures and could visualize a little bit more of what is meant by hands-on learning and how to motivate kids to study and to learn. And so that's why we showed some pictures to you today. Let's talk a little bit more about this character development. Your mission statement says that's an integral part of why you have the school, to help the kids grow in character. Mm-hmm. So now I can see from the pictures that one of the ways that was done was community service programs, doing things, getting involved with the needs of others. That's excellent, but what are some other ways in the classroom, day by day or whatever, that you can help kids grow in character?
Well, we begin the day with worship and Bible study. The kids have opportunity to share their prayer requests and also to pray individually. They are learning not to be so shy. I challenge them, not to the point where it hurts them, but to the point where they need to emerge from that shell that they're in, so that they can be more,
Okay. So they actually will lead out in prayer too. Isn't that refreshing, folks, to have prayer in school and to be able to pray with the kids and start the day with prayer and a devotional and so forth? In fact, I've heard that even when you maybe have to discipline someone or talk to them about where they got out of line, that you can actually pray with them and ask the Lord to help them.
Yes.
That's refreshing. And so that's what Brushy Fork Christian School is all about, is to help kids develop in all these ways, mentally and physically, socially, getting along with others, having the right type of communication with others, and also in character development, learning how they can grow in the character that God's Word so readily shares with us through all those different Bible stories. So we are thankful for you folks being here today with us for this program, and I know we'll look forward to Dr. Allman being back next week, but it's been a joy to be with you and to share about Brushy Fork Christian School. And again, if you have an interest in having your child come to the school, the number is right there, 304-472-0962. Call up, and if no one's there, leave a message, but if someone's there, that's fine too, and say you want to know more about the school for this coming school year. It's starting up in, about 2 weeks, isn't it?
The 19th.
So it won't be long. Okay, the 19th. So it's been delightful to be with you. God bless you and keep you in His care always.
Stories of a West Virginia Doctor, written by Dr. Harold D. Allman. A collection of 55 short stories about his experience as a small-town doctor in central West Virginia. And Tender Loving Care, Stories from a West Virginia Doctor, Volume 2, written by Dr. Greenbrier Allman, using videotapes to write 70 additional stories of his father's very colorful life as a small-town doctor. They can be found for purchase at Amazon.com and most local bookstores. Tune into Channel 3 Buckhannon for Tender Loving Care with Dr. Greenbrier Allman, where he talks about the connection between Christianity and medicine.